And now, our feature presentation.
Don't go breaking my heart. I won't go breaking your heart. Don't go breaking my heart. Don't go breaking my heart. Don't go breaking my. I won't go breaking your heart.
Hello everyone and welcome to our feature presentation. I'm here today with Phob. Say hi, Phob. And today we're here to talk about the classic Disney movie Chicken Little.
Chicken Little.
I don't know what to say about Chicken Little.
At this point, it's been actually a couple days since we watched it.
I mean, Chicken Little's kind of infamous or infamous. However you put it. See, I'm already screwing this up. Chicken Little is pretty much like an infamous Disney movie just for how bad it is. It was like Disney's first like 3D movie they released, I think ever, like theatrically or straight to video. But that was kind of like advertised, I think, at the time as like a big deal. Unfortunately, the movie itself wasn't very good.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's nice and short. Like, I don't know, I keep forgetting that movies used to be like an hour and a half, if not even a little short. It's like, it feels like every movie nowadays feels like it needs to be like 2 hours, but they don't understand why it needs to be 2 hours. They just are like, just stuff in 2 hours worth of content. I don't care.
That's the thing with movies now. It's like, I think like Hollywood is thinking that people want movies to be long because they want to get like their money's worth when they go see a movie. But I've never seen anyone who gets excited when a movie is long. Like, anytime
I usually hear sighs.
Yeah, but anytime someone looks at a runtime and it's like 90 minutes, they go like, woohoo! And they're excited because it's like, it's so rare now that movies are only 90 minutes or even less than that. That's really what horror movies, especially, like horror movies and anime movies are the two that should stay about an hour and a half long. But for some reason,
if anything,
yeah, they've been kind of like testing the waters lately too, because it's like I've noticed each animated movie, which used to be like an hour and a half, is now about an hour and 45 minutes. So we'll see if it'll be 2 hours in another like 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know, I feel like there's some movies that do need to be like 2 hours long, but it feels like when they made the decision, it's just because other movies did it. It's like, do you not know? It's like if you made your movie 2 hours and it's super boring, you obviously missed the point of why it should be 2 hours in the first place, right? Yeah. Although I will say, almost to that point's detriment, Blade Runner 2049 is like 2.5 hours long. I love it, but when I went to see it, nobody was showing up to that theater. So like, you know, it maybe sometimes it doesn't really matter. It's like doesn't matter. Like, boring is subjective. But like, I feel like for the most part, it just makes a bad movie worse if they make it 2 hours. You know,
Blade Runner 2049 is really good, but is it Chicken Little good?
You know what? That's a really nuanced conversation. I think we have the time to have right now.
I'm just gonna assume most people know about Chicken Little. It's the Disney movie with the crazy little chicken who thinks the sky is falling. His dad, but Cluck, hates him.
Wait, no. He fucking hates him.
He really does hate him. It's made very clear. And then aliens show up, and one of the aliens is like a little baby alien, and they have to get him back to their parents. Mm-hmm. And that's the movie. It's not much happens. I mean, I guess a lot happens considering there's a whole alien invasion and stuff.
But that kind of actually, like, it just kind of happens. Like, I don't know. I guess it's because I am so used to very, very long movies where, like, just all of a sudden, I was like, oh, it's the end of the movie. Because it's all of a sudden the aliens invade. It's like, oh, that's right.
Well,
it has to happen.
This movie split into, like, 2 different movies, because there's no, like, subtle transition from one to the other.
Oh, no, there's not. It just happens.
Yeah, it's like the first half is, like, Chicken Little trying to win, like, his father's respect by playing baseball. And he does it, and he accomplishes it, and it's like, that's where the first movie ends. Second half, like that, like, hexagon, like, piece of the sky falls out and hits, Chicken Little in the face. And then him and his friends go to investigate it, and turns out aliens are invading. And then it becomes an alien invasion movie.
I'm sorry, I just want to bring up, I know it's like it's a cartoon, so, it's a movie as well, so visual storytelling is important. But I do love that on the alien spaceship, they just have a gigantic room with this huge dome ceiling just for our solar system, right? Mm-hmm. And then it has all the planets X'd out, like, but it's this huge room. It's like an observatory sized dome room. And it's like, it's just to show that this is the solar system. Like, it's not even like detailed, coordinates or anything. It doesn't seem like there's any sort of computer hooked up to it. That's it. That's all there is. You couldn't just buy a map.
It's
like,
fine. It's fine.
You're high tech aliens.
It's Chicken Little. What do you want?
Well, and that's the thing. It's like in the end of the day, I don't actually care. I just think it's a funny observation.
I'm just looking into this now because I am a hack and I didn't really research Chicken Little before doing this video. But this is the same director who did The Emperor's New Groove and Cats Don't Dance. So.
Huh. I haven't seen Cats Don't Dance, so...
Cats Don't Dance is pretty good.
Okay. Well, that's all I know about it, then.
Yeah, I don't know what went wrong, so...
And I mean, Emperor's New Groove is one of those... Is that a Disney Renaissance movie? Is that around that time? Or is that, like, its own period?
I'd say it's during that time period where we had a bunch of movies from Disney that were actually, like, pretty good. Or we had some...
Not like all those other Disney movies.
Well, no. I mean, like, we had some that were pretty good, but then didn't make a lot of money, like Treasure Planet. Actually, Disney was kind of all over the place at that point, because we had Lilo and Stitch, which is, like, masterpiece, best Disney movie. We had Home on the Range, like, right before Chicken Little, which is, like... I will say Home on the Range is a worse movie than Chicken Little.
And that's saying something.
Yeah. Then we have, like Treasure Planet Atlantis, which are, like, pretty, like, actually great movies, but they didn't make, like, any money. And they're kind of, like, I think a lot of people do like those movies. Like, they're appreciated, but...
Just not in the way that counts.
Yeah, Disney just doesn't want you to remember them.
Yeah, it is in that weird period in time where Disney was like trying to figure out, because they had Pixar at that point, right? Yeah. They could do that. It's just like they're trying to go off on their own, and I don't know. It feels like every single time Disney tries to make their very own 3D animated movie, something always falls short. I don't know. I don't want to just say it's just because they just always should trust Pixar, but it's like,
I'd say...
You guys have Pixar. Why do you keep trying to do this on your own? Like, you have Pixar.
I'd say recently, though, like, okay, when this came out, I understand, everyone was kind of trying to be like Pixar because, DreamWorks and Pixar were competitors. They're both doing the whole CG animation thing. So then, of course, other studios are like, we want in on this too, and that's why everyone does CG movies, even to this day, at least in the US. But, the thing with that is, like, today, I think Disney is finally starting to make much better, CG, like, animated movies, and I just want to say, like, Zootopia and Moana came out, like, the same year, and those are, like, Disney's best movies in, like, a long time, compared to a lot of their previous movies. A lot of people like movies that, like, a lot of their previous CG movies, like Big Hero 6 and Wreck-It Ralph, which I don't like either of those movies.
Yeah, I know that you don't like those movies.
I have a lot of problems with those movies, which I won't get into, but that's the thing. I feel like recently, with time, they've been getting better, and they finally at that point where with Zootopia Moana, that it's like you finally made like really good CG movies, and hopefully they can like keep that trend going, but we'll see.
But I mean, they aren't any Chicken Little, obviously.
No.
Like, it's kind of embarrassing.
What did you think of this movie when you were a kid?
I liked it, but I mean, that's just because I was a kid, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like people, even though like it's good to give children credit that they can discern, stuff on their own, like that. I think children choosing their own media, it's like that's like you really shouldn't. Like, I feel like there's people who like you gotta give kids credit. They're gonna pick things that are good. It's like, do you know how much money the Minions movie made? Right? Like,
Yeah.
kids don't discern what's good
Well-
media. That's not really like that's the thing. Though. I'm not like I'm not saying that it's like children are shitty. It's just like, that's just because you're a child, right? You don't usually have control over these things, and at the end of the day, like, at least when I was a kid, all I needed was somebody to do a fart joke, and I was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
No way,
Well-
you can't say that.
That you can't say that. That's the thing though, is like because like as a kid I also liked this movie. Now that I'm older, I heard everyone saying like, "Oh, worst movie ever," and I just hear constant hate for Chicken Little, and that's kind of like why I wanted to watch it again, because like I wanted to see if it was really as bad, and it's not as bad as people say it is.
No,
Did
they
you-
even got Bare Naked Ladies to do an original song
Oh
for
yeah, the One Little Slip.
it. One little slip. And that's the only part I know. I was about to sing, I think, what was the chorus, but I'm not even gonna attempt it.
We assume that's an original song, but
I mean,
don't
to
know.
be honest, I'm gonna be honest, I actually don't think it's original. If it is, I think it's just as likely, but I'm just gonna say my money is that it's not an original song. But I would really think it'd be funny that Chicken Little got its own original song by the Bare Naked Ladies.
One little slip. One little slip.
There's
That
lots
is a
of
very
songs in
2000s
this
thing
movie,
to do.
but a lot of the songs are like so out of place. And
Oh,
they just,
yeah.
like I didn't even remember there being other songs in this movie besides like The End of the World by REM. Like that's the only
Yeah.
song I remembered,
Exactly.
and that's because that was in the trailers.
Yeah, that's the most important part as a kid, is that you see the trailers on TV when, like, you're watching cartoons or something, and you go, we have to see Chicken Little.
Ooh,
Like, Mom. Come on.
also, something about like I remember the trailers for this movie, and I remember they used to do these ads for Disney movies and Pixar movies where they didn't just have a teaser trailer, they would actually have like they would animate like something separately.
Yeah.
For the movie. Like, you remember that for Chicken Little? It was like the news, or reporters are chasing him down and he's trying to hide from them.
One final question. Do you think you'll ever get to live this down?
Yes. Yes, I will. Because I believe in second chances. And I will rise again like the mighty phoenix, and soon everyone will forget. It's not like they're making a movie about it, It was a simple mistake. People, please, please, I'm begging you, let it go.
I don't know.
I think,
I don't think I do.
I had like it was like a Brother Bear DVD or something, and they always played it before then. But, I just miss when they used to do that, because I like that like extra effort where it's like, we're gonna give you something that's not in the movie, but it will give you an idea of what this movie will still be like.
I mean, that's the key word right there, effort, right? So.
Because teaser trailers now are so lazy.
Well, I mean, it's a
like-
teaser trailer. Like, I get it, right? It's
I
supposed
know,
to
but
just
it's like-
hook you with as little as possible.
I know. I guess they just realize they don't have to do the extra effort, but it's kind of like, I miss that.
Oh, I guess.
It's showed they had faith in their product, even though the product was Chicken Little.
Somebody watched Chicken Little and went, I have faith in this.
Yeah.
I have faith in Chicken Little. Unlike his dad.
What? What should we talk about his dad?
Yes,
Butt
his
Cluck?
dad got his just desserts by being an entry in the Disney villain wiki.
What happened to his mom? Is she just dead?
Yeah, like, I mean, you don't
Did
really
the
need to
sky
say
fall
much.
on her?
That's how she does. That. Ah, I wish that they like brought it up and all of a sudden, like he sees the hexagon on the ground, or the hexagon on the ground. Then he gets like a flashback of his mom and him at the park.
Or just the aliens as they're leaving is like say something about that one chicken that like the piece of their ship fell on top of and murdered.
they just outright say they murdered somebody.
Well,
And then
they don't know it's
immediately-
related to him.
Oh man, I wish. But no, she's just dead. Like, I mean, and what more do you need, right? When she's all they have to do is say all they had to do is just show that she was in a photograph, but then she's not anywhere else in the movie. Like, yeah, that's pretty self-evident what happened.
Well,
Either that or they got divorced. But I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, they don't really say.
I don't know if they'd bring that up in a Disney movie.
That's true.
They're very because you know in a Disney movie it's better to have one of your parents die
be dead
than
than
be divorced.
divorced.
I'm a Butt Cluck villains wiki terrible
You were
dad.
talking about Butt Cluck. Oh yeah, well you were talking about you talked about how kind of the idea of it like is a good idea, like having a Disney movie where there's a parent that doesn't really trust their kid or doesn't have that connection that you should have with a kid, and like it's a good issue to like bring up in a kids movie because it's never addressed anywhere else, and it's just so unfortunate that it's like this is the one movie where we get that, and its message is pretty much horrible because it's just like you never get the sense that his dad actually like cares for him. He's just kind of like
Like just humoring him.
Yeah, he's just humoring him. Like he's just going along with what his son does because he starts feeling guilty. Like, oh no, I'll be a terrible dad if I don't do this. It doesn't ever feel like he actually cares for him.
He's he has that very dissenting, dismissive tone in his voice whenever, even during the end of the world, where it's just like his son is like giving him. I mean, but see, that's also the problem is that like. It's like the end of the world. So that's supposed to be like Chicken Little's big moment where he's gonna show his dad that he needs to invest trust in him. But it's like that is literally the worst time for a parent to trust their child. Like you're in the middle of an apocalypse, and then and your child's like, I know exactly what we're gonna do, and you go, no, we're gonna go home right now. We're gonna go into our safety bunker. We're gonna board up our basement or cellar doors, and we're gonna wait this out. We're gonna call the police.
I like the thought that like they have safety bunkers because nuclear attacks is like a thing in Chicken Little's world.
They might all be furries, but the Cold War is still happening. Okay.
Okay.
Like, it's in fact it's probably more serious because there's actual physiological differences between the animals that would insinuate one could be more productive in society than another.
That's true.
What a horrifying thought. I don't want to live in a furry universe where it's possible that I could actually have like
I would actually be less Chicken Little universe.
I'd be less useful in society because I'd be a tiny chicken.
That's true.
But it's not one of those situations where like it'd be a situation where like that where racism is real.
Well, there's another thing with this movie where it's like it's very mean spirited, and I'm sure that wasn't their intention while like making this movie. I'm sure they were like, this will be funny, and like there's some funny jokes in the movie. It's not a humorless experience, but like
to remember what I laughed at.
But pretty much like the problem with this movie is that these aren't like high schoolers or anything. Like Chicken Little is like probably in elementary school, like we can guess. And the fact that like all the adults are just like even the adults like are mean to him, and it's
I'm actually gonna say middle school.
middle school.
They seem developed enough to be in middle school.
But still, there's like he's on the baseball team, and even the parents are like, oh no, Chicken Little, he's the worst. And it's like, why is everyone so mean
Chicken
to him?
Little.
Everyone's just so mean.
I know it's.
It doesn't really bother me, like, watching it now, it's like, that doesn't really bother me too much, because it's like, I know how it ends, I know that he gets the respect he deserves, but, yeah, it's kind of like, if it was my first time watching it, I'd probably notice more things.
You know, that reminds me, speaking of someone everyone hates, in that movie there's the school bully, Foxy Loxy, I think, is her name. But what happens is, like, she's, you know, generally, like, a really horrible, heinous person, but as that's usually what school bullies in cartoons are, right? They're just completely irredeemable.
Well, she's like the fox that's, like, eating the chicken. Original story, right? I don't know the original Chicken Little story, really, but I remember reading it as a kid.
Wait, Chicken Little is based off a book?
No, it's based on a, what was it? It was like a Russian, maybe it's not Russian.
This is it was a descent from whatever that is.
I'm reading this. It was a propaganda cartoon made during World War II. Oh, wait, an adaptation of the fable after a propaganda cartoon. So someone made a fable based on a propaganda cartoon?
I mean, I can see that happening, I guess.
Okay.
That's very strange train of logic this movie has come from, but, it's, yeah, she doesn't have, like, an arc or whatever where she, like, respects Chicken Little for once, right? No, she gets to, like, her brain gets...
She gets brainwashed.
Messed up, yeah. And then, was it, they're like, yeah, no, we can put her back together, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They go, no, she's better like this. It's like, that's, like, the same thing people say about lobotomizations, like that, she just got lobotomized.
I know. It's one of those things where it's like, you just go with it. I mean, kids aren't gonna put that much thought into it, I don't think. But
I
it's
remember
like,
it making
adults
me sad as a kid.
Actually, I thought the same thing as a kid. Like, I remember watching it just being like, that's kind of weird. Like, I didn't feel right about it. So it's like, I guess even kids can point out, like, things like that, so...
But I mean, I still enjoyed the movie, that's the thing, right? Kids can make these educated guesses, like, things and whatnot, but most of the time they just go, I like that movie, because that's, you know, what else are you gonna do with your time? Your parents have decided that you're liking that movie. Yeah. Or, not liking, but you're gonna watch it, and that's the one movie that you get this month, so, you know. What was I gonna say? Also, it's something that I just find is a strange observation. Don't think it's necessarily bad or anything, but just the fact that all the characters have their last name usually rhyme with their first name, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Chicken Little's name is Chicken Little. Like, it's a very strange.
Why
like,
isn't he like his Little Cluck or something?
Yeah, like
his Butt Cluck.
Yeah, but his dad's name is Buck Cluck, and there's a Foxy Loxy, and what was it? There's, I think, Goosey Lucy, I think, and then his friend, there's like Fish. His name's just Fish.
The litter.
Wait, well, yeah, but his name is just Runt, I think.
Yeah.
I think you might be insinuating a little too much. But then there's Then there's Chicken Little's other friend.
Why does Abby get a name? It's Abby the Ugly Duckling, but then Chicken Little's just Chicken Little. his father didn't even bother naming him.
Well, I mean, because I could understand that, because it's like, he's been such a terrible father up to this point. Why did he have to just start now? Right? Could have been the whole time. But
That's true.
I was also thinking, like, you know, I'm assuming, what I'm gonna just assume is that unless she was in a picture with Chicken Little, I think she may have died in, like, childbirth, Chicken Little's mom.
Oh my god.
So she might not have gotten a chance to name him. So he's just like, Chicken Little, because he's a little chicken.
That could be why he hates his son so much, because she died during childbirth. Everything makes sense now.
I like how he keeps saying hate his son, but in reality it's more like he has, like, massive disappointment and is very embarrassed to see him in public, right?
Yeah.
That is... but it's like, the way we're phrasing it, it makes it sound like he's like, God, Chicken Little, I fucking hate you!
To be fair, Chicken Little does almost murder, like, a countless number of babies towards the beginning of the movie, so...
They're all coming out of the baby carriage.
Because he starts that whole thing where, like, the globe or whatever is rolling over everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
If they were just 1 second slower, they would have been dead.
I'm thinking, is lobotomization a word, or did I make that up?
I'll just say it's a word. People know what you're talking about. Like,
I mean, they do, but that doesn't mean people won't point it out.
It's okay. I don't think anyone's ever pointed out anything in any of our videos, so.
I think it's because nobody watched them.
But,
except for, which one was it? It's like The Wild. 200 views at time of speaking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Well, anyway.
The only thing that... Oh, I mean, someone would point that out, because in our Osmosis Jones one, some guy commented, and thank you for commenting, by the way, this guy commented, Osmosis Jones is a white blood cell, and Drix is a cold pill.
It's because I was stupid.
There you go.
I couldn't think of what they were.
I thought we'd made that clear in the video, though. Like, I'm pretty sure.
It's okay.
But anyways, thank you for commenting, patron.
And fuck you.
And fuck you!
But, anyway. Oh, I read a comment online recently where it's like someone said, the ugly duckling in this is just the female version of Tow Mater. And it's like, that's completely true. Like, I didn't even put that together until they said it.
She's not... What do you mean? Oh, I mean, I guess, like, design-wise.
Yeah, design-wise. But it's like...
Personality-wise, no way, but...
I mean, I don't know, but it's like...
She's not Label the Carry Guy.
That's Label the Carry Guy?
Yeah, Label the Carry Guy.
Yeah, she's not. She's Jessie from Toy Story. The lady who's in everything that no one knows the name of.
Merble Strep.
Is that true?
No, but that's,
it sounds true.
It's that's what, in Neil Ciceriga's Tom Hanks video, that's what he calls Meryl Streep. Yeah, Merble Strep. Also, I want to say, although some of the designs are like, you know, they're fun or whatever, they're cartoons, I will say, I don't like the design for the Cluck household.
Where it's got like the chicken coop.
It's the...
I'm fine with that.
It's on the stilts, that's fine, but it's the wire, like the... What is that called? It's the chicken fence that it's always used, where it's like the hexagonal...
Oh, I don't know. I just call it chicken coop.
Linking.
I don't know.
I think that looks ugly in like a household setting, so I don't know. I don't like how that looks, and that's all I have to say about that.
But Cluck thought it looked nice. So...
No, but Cluck's wife thought it looked nice.
And then she died, so he just kept it around.
Yeah, like everything in his life, he just despises everything.
You know, this movie was dedicated to Joe Grant, who died before the release of this film.
Who's Joe Grant?
It just seems like he was involved in Disney. It says he led development of Pinocchio and co-wrote Fantasia and Dumbo.
Wow.
So he had a big part in Disney, and then he died, and they made Chicken Little to
honor his memory.
Yeah.
I really hope he got more of a memoriam than the ending credits crawl.
At his funeral, they just played Chicken Little.
Oh, that's horrible. I can imagine it though.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
We talked about Father of the Year, Buck Cluck.
Of course.
Buck Cluck the fuck. And I mean, really, what more is there to talk about when it comes to Chicken Little? Like, it's like an okay movie, right? Like, that has like I would say underdeveloped. Like, they had a concept that could have really worked for them, but like they chose to just ignore it for the last half of their movie, right?
It's a fun I mean, the whole like alien thing is fun. It's it's a fun concept. It's just it doesn't make the movie good.
Yeah, well, it needs to be it needs to be a better mix of the two, because it feels like it's like a stark half and half, right? Where it's like, first we do the whole thing with the son and the dad, and then there's like a little bit of gradient when the alien invasion comes and they have their scene in the movie theater, where they talk to each other and they try to have closure. As Abby always says, they have to have closure.
Oh yeah.
And but then that's it. Like, that you don't get a whole lot when it comes to the next half, which is about them fighting the aliens. So
the alien hordes.
It's pretty stark. And I would have preferred it if they would have incorporated the idea of an alien invasion, like, what you do with movies, where you have your theme, but you make the actual, like, the in-movie stuff happening, that's more of like a metaphor for what's happening internally.
Yeah.
But it's also a Disney kids movie that wasn't made by Pixar, and, sometimes you just gotta experiment, and sometimes the experiment goes wrong.
I think they should have just made it like The Burbs, where it's like, where Chicken Little thinks aliens are invading or something, and then no one believes him.
I thought you were just
really are.
I thought you were just gonna say it should have been more like The Burbs. They should have included Tom Hanks in some way.
They should have.
Like all movies, that can only make it better. Doesn't even matter if it's a bit.
We were talking about because Patrick Stewart is in this, and I know I watched a documentary one time where they talked about Toy Story and how to get like actors like Tom Hanks and Tim Allen in the movie. They're like, do you want to be in a animated Disney movie that your children will love and cherish? I was just thinking, like, they probably use that same tactic to get like celebrities into Chicken Little, thinking it'd become like a masterpiece.
Wait, Adam West is in this movie, right? He's like a
at the end of the movie they make Chicken Little the movie.
Oh, and that's right. And he's Ace.
Yeah.
Which
so is his name Ace?
I don't know, because it's like,
now we know it's Ace, the little chicken.
Was it we didn't talk about the fact that they made a video game for the movie, but it wasn't
video games.
Like, but if the first one they made, at least I think it's the first one. If not, please correct me. But like they made a video game based on the movie of the events that happen in the movie. Like, it's a movie in the movie that they watch at the end before the credits, and that, like, the actor who plays Chicken Little is then played by Adam West. This is really confusing.
Yeah, I don't know what order they came out in.
But
I would assume,
like, imagine your movie's credit sequence that was turned into the game, not the actual movie itself. Then they made, of course, a video game of the movie, but
I like that concept, though.
Sir, I'm picking up a distress call.
That's me and Mr. Fish.
It's the prequel to the game, loosely based on the movie, which was even more loosely based on our lives. Let the justice begin.
But, look out for my YouTube channel, where I will be playing exclusively video games that are adaptations of movies that take place in space, which includes, or at least has some very tenuous connection to space, which includes Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue for PlayStation 1, Ace, Chicken Little, Ace in Space, and Alien Isolation.
And Space Chimps, the video game, which I think exists, but I don't have any proof.
I can guarantee it, and you know what? Do you know how I know that? It's because there's a picture of it on screen right now.
Oh wow!
Look at that. It's for Wii or DS.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it's for Wii. Okay, well we'll see. I mean, we are seeing right now. Wow, Wii.
Wow, Wii. Look at that. All right, everyone. We'll be seeing you.
Bye.